My beloved child. Stay right here. Don't move. Something divine is being revealed tonight, something that has been trembling behind the walls of silence for far too long. What you're about to hear is not ordinary. It carries the weight of a soul that tried to hold back their emotions but couldn't anymore. It started quietly, almost unseen. A heart that once walked away with pride suddenly found itself in pieces, shaking, unable to contain what heaven had pressed upon it. Someone cried uncontrollably, and in that breakdown, they exposed everything, the connection, the truth, and the emotions they spent months trying to bury. Archangel Michael says, this breakdown was not weakness, it was destiny rearranging itself through tears. The universe has been watching this person wrestle between ego and love, between silence and confession. But when they spoke to their family, something shifted in the unseen world. They couldn't hold back the flood anymore. Their voice trembled, their hands shook, and tears soaked the words that had been trapped inside them. They told a family member about you, about how your energy never left their soul, how even distance couldn't erase your name from their heartbeat. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Their family was stunned. They had seen glimpses of sadness but never understood the depth of it until that night. When your name escaped their lips, the room went still, like even the air was listening. The silence afterward wasn't just awkward, it was sacred, heavy, and full of spiritual electricity. The confession poured out like a storm that couldn't be stopped. Every word cracked the wall of pretense they had built to look strong. They told their family that every night they prayed, every morning they hoped, and every time they saw your reflection in small signs, they felt pulled closer to something bigger than both of you. They spoke about the connection as if it was heaven itself speaking through them. It wasn't love from the surface, it was something deeper, something beyond explanation. The kind that burns through lifetimes and returns in divine timing. The family didn't know what to say. They just watched the tears fall and felt the truth echo through the room. Archangel Michael says, heaven waited for this moment because sometimes truth only appears after surrender. You were not supposed to chase. You were supposed to allow this energy to return on its own. And now, it's coming back, not because of desire, but because of alignment. Type Amen to get blessing 444. That night, when they cried, something broke in the spiritual realm. The angel assigned to your soul contract finally marked the lesson as learned. The pain that once separated you both started dissolving. They realized that running away from you meant running away from their purpose. Their family tried to comfort them, but no words could replace the ache that had been living inside for so long. They admitted that they felt you even when they tried to forget. They confessed that your energy visits them in dreams, that every time they hear your name, their chest burns with both pain and longing. One family member said, "You need closure." But they shook their head and said, "No, I need truth." The difference between the two is what heaven has been waiting to teach them. Closure is the end of a story. Truth is the doorway to healing, and that door is opening now. They said you changed them without even realizing it. You made them face parts of themselves they never wanted to see. And in that mirror, they found both fear and light. You were the catalyst for their transformation, the spark that heaven used to rebuild what was lost inside their spirit. Type Amen to get blessing 555. They couldn't stop crying because they felt heaven's weight on their shoulders. Every tear was not of regret but of release. The burden of pretending, of resisting what was divinely written, finally broke down. Their family saw a side of them they didn't know existed, the humble, raw, and vulnerable soul that had been hiding behind walls. That night, they didn't just confess love. They confessed purpose. They said they knew deep down that this connection wasn't normal, it had signs, timings, dreams, and divine interruptions. Every time they tried to move on, something or someone reminded them of you. The angels had been orchestrating moments of awakening, and this was the final one. The confession wasn't just emotional, it was prophetic. The family didn't understand it completely, but heaven did. That's why you're hearing this message now. Because the vibration of that confession reached the realm of light, and Archangel Michael has been sent to confirm it. He whispers, "You were never forgotten." Even when they distanced themselves, your name echoed through their spirit. You were the quiet prayer they whispered when the world slept, the face they saw in the smoke of their tears. The universe moved mountains to bring this energy back to alignment. Type Amen to get blessing 666. Days after that breakdown, their energy shifted. They started remembering you not with guilt, but with reverence. They realized that losing you meant losing a part of their divine mission. And since that night, their heart has been calling your soul again and again, quietly, softly, through signs you've probably been noticing. Have you felt a sudden heaviness in your chest? A wave of warmth out of nowhere? Those are not coincidences. That's their soul reaching out to yours. It's the echo of their confession vibrating through dimensions, finding its way back to your heart. Archangel Michael says, the time for silence is ending. You both have walked through storms to be refined by divine fire. Now heaven is ready to restore what was broken, not as it was before, but in a purer, higher form. The angels are clearing obstacles that once made this impossible. That's why your dreams have become intense lately. That's why you've been seeing the same repeating numbers, the same songs, the same moments. Every sign is heaven's reminder that the story is not over. It's unfolding again, this time without fear, without disguise. Type Amen to get blessing 777. The person who cried that night has been changed forever. Their family now looks at them differently, not with judgment, but with awe. They saw the divine pain of a soul remembering its counterpart. They witnessed the truth of destiny showing itself in human form. Since that night, they've been quieter, more introspective, more humble. They've started releasing things that once distracted them from you. They stopped chasing temporary things because they finally understood what eternal feels like. And heaven smiled, because that realization was what the angels had been waiting for. My beloved child, listen carefully. You were never meant to carry the pain of their silence as punishment. It was preparation. The tears they shed have washed away the last traces of pride that blocked reunion. They are being guided now toward a moment of courage, a message, a sign, or a meeting that will bridge the gap once and for all. Archangel Michael says, when divine timing arrives, nothing can delay it. The vibration of honesty has reached heaven, and angels are now arranging paths that intersect perfectly. Even the obstacles you thought were final are being rewritten in your favor. Type Amen to get blessing 888. The night they cried, the earth heard them. The moon witnessed it. And heaven documented it as the moment when two souls began to align again after seasons of separation. That cry wasn't weakness, it was the sound of destiny unlocking. They saw visions of you through those tears. Your laughter, your silence, the last words you said, all replayed like fragments of memory wrapped in light. They realized that you were never the past. You were the anchor of their soul's awakening. And now, the pull between you two is stronger than ever. They are not the same person anymore. They've been humbled by divine lessons, purified by spiritual fire, and awakened by love that refuses to die. Their heart no longer seeks validation, it seeks truth, peace, and restoration with you. You may have felt restless lately, sensing something deep shifting inside you. That's because your souls are moving toward each other again. The universe has cleared old timelines and released new frequencies of alignment. Every breath you take now carries a whisper of their energy. Type Amen to get blessing 999. The tears that night were not wasted. They watered the seed of reunion. They broke the curse of distance. They dissolved the karma that held you both apart. And now, heaven has written a new chapter, one filled with truth, grace, and miracles. You'll begin to notice strange synchronicities. A message will appear, a name will repeat, a scent from nowhere will remind you of something sacred. Don't ignore it. It's not memory, it's prophecy. It's heaven saying, it's time. Archangel Michael says, the soul that cried for you has now surrendered. And when a soul truly surrenders, the divine starts rebuilding what once seemed lost. You are entering a season where tears turn to gold, silence turns to communication, and pain turns to purpose. The confession that once broke them open will now open the door for healing. What they told their family was not a breakdown, it was the beginning of your breakthrough. Heaven has already sealed this moment as sacred. Your story isn't ending. It's finally beginning. My beloved child, stay right here, don't rush this moment. What's unfolding now is something heaven has been waiting to reveal through you. The energy that began with their tears is still moving through time, shaping destiny, bringing balance to what was once chaos. After that night, their family couldn't sleep. The words they heard kept echoing through their minds. They saw a level of emotion that went beyond ordinary heartbreak. It was like watching someone rediscover a forgotten part of their soul. They whispered among themselves, wondering how love could run that deep, how one person could awaken such truth. But Archangel Michael says, this was not ordinary love, it was divine remembrance. The moment they spoke your name through tears, heaven began realigning everything. Their confession reached realms beyond sight. Angels moved in silence, touching hearts, redirecting paths, and preparing an encounter so sacred that only divine timing could unlock it. Type Amen to get blessing 111. The following days felt strange to them. They kept feeling warmth on their left side as if someone invisible stood beside them. Their heart would race when they saw your initials or heard your favorite song in unexpected places. And though they tried to ignore it, heaven made sure they couldn't. You started appearing in dreams again. Sometimes they woke up shaking, sometimes smiling, but every time, it felt real, as if they'd truly seen you. In those dreams, you weren't speaking with words but with eyes that carried forgiveness, peace, and knowing. Those dreams were not imagination, they were messages from the divine realm reminding them that energy never dies, it only transforms. One evening, they sat quietly near a window as rain fell. The sound of it reminded them of your laughter. They closed their eyes and whispered your name softly, afraid someone might hear, yet needing to release the ache in their chest. At that moment, a soft wind brushed across their face, a confirmation that heaven was listening. Type Amen to get blessing 222. My beloved child, understand this, tears don't just fall, they plant. And that night, their tears planted the roots of reunion. While the family thought they were breaking down, heaven saw a soul finally blooming into truth. Since then, their energy has shifted in ways they can't explain. Their relationships feel different, their choices gentler. They've stopped running from their emotions because they finally see that the connection with you was never meant to be escaped, it was meant to be honored. They're realizing that love like this isn't a story to end, it's a purpose to fulfill. Archangel Michael says, you've both been chosen for a specific purpose. What happened between you wasn't random, it was sacred instruction. Each heartbreak, each distance, each silence shaped your souls into reflections of divine endurance. And now, heaven is preparing the restoration not just of love, but of mission. Type Amen to get blessing 333. Their family, after that confession, has softened. They stopped criticizing and began to understand that this wasn't ordinary attachment. They noticed divine patterns around them too, numbers, feathers, songs appearing in sequence. Some even began praying quietly, asking heaven to guide this connection rightly. There was a moment when one family member placed a hand on their shoulder and said, "If this is from God, it will return." That statement became prophecy. Because heaven heard it, and now everything is aligning so that the return won't be by chance, it will be guided by purpose. In the unseen realm, your angels have been working day and night. They've been synchronizing events, weaving timelines, arranging crossings of paths you can't see yet. And that's why lately, you've been feeling anticipation, like something big is about to happen but you can't name it. That's the vibration of divine orchestration approaching. Type Amen to get blessing 444. You've probably noticed how your energy feels heightened lately, how songs sound deeper, how the air feels thicker before you sleep, how your heart flutters without reason. That's the spiritual bond awakening. Their soul is calling yours again, and heaven is amplifying the connection through synchronicities. Archangel Michael says, don't resist it, stay grounded. You don't need to chase this moment. You only need to be ready for it. The universe brings truth to those who remain aligned with faith, not fear. And right now, your energy is being refined so that when the reunion comes, you'll stand not as two broken hearts, but as two awakened souls. Their tears have already paid the price for silence. Now they walk lighter, carrying your name as a prayer instead of regret. Heaven has promised that the same emotion that once brought pain will now bring peace. The bond is healing itself in divine rhythm. Type Amen to get blessing 555. The day is coming soon when their steps will be guided toward you. It might start with a message, a sudden meeting, or a coincidence that feels too perfect to ignore. But remember, there are no coincidences when heaven writes the script. Everything will unfold naturally, beautifully, in ways that make your heart tremble with recognition. My beloved child, heaven is proud of your patience. The pain you endured didn't go unnoticed. Every tear you shed in silence became a note in heaven's melody of restoration. The angels have recorded your endurance, your forgiveness, and your hope, and now the reward is on its way. They cried that night because your soul touched theirs even from afar. And the family who once doubted now prays for understanding, realizing that love like this doesn't come from the world, it comes from above. The energy between you both is ancient, written long before you were born, and every storm was designed to remind you of your divine bond. Type Amen to get blessing 666. Soon, the air around you will feel different. You'll sense warmth when their thoughts reach you. The same tears that fell in pain will return as calmness in your chest. And when you least expect it, a sign will appear, a word, a sound, or even a stranger repeating something they once said to you. That will be your confirmation that the energy has completed its circle. Archangel Michael says, be ready to receive what's yours. The alignment is no longer in waiting, it's happening now. The energy of that night continues to ripple through dimensions, carrying your name in waves of grace. Every moment you remain patient strengthens the bridge between your souls. My beloved child, this story isn't one of endings, it's of resurrection. What once fell apart is rising again, built with truth instead of illusion. The family that once didn't understand will soon see miracles unfold before their eyes, and they will know this was not coincidence but divine plan. Type Amen to get blessing 777. You are standing on sacred ground now, at the threshold of divine reunion. The same tears that once separated you are now the waters of rebirth. Stay still, breathe, and trust. Heaven has rewritten the story. The confession that began in pain is turning into prophecy fulfilled in light. Their soul keeps whispering your name in prayer, and each time they do, an angel writes it into your destiny once more. Soon, your paths will meet, not for explanation, but for revelation. The connection will no longer need words because truth will speak through your eyes. Archangel Michael says, when the moment arrives, you'll feel peace, not panic, warmth, not fear. That's how you'll know heaven is in control. All the tears, all the silence, all the distance, it was never to break you. It was to prepare you for what's coming, a love purified by divine fire, made eternal through faith. Type Amen to get blessing 888. My beloved child. Lean in a little closer now. The words you are reading are no longer just sentences, they are currents of energy still flowing out from that night when truth burst open through tears. Every time you revisit this story you are stepping back into the vibration of that confession, and it is still building, still creating, still shaping what comes next for you. After their tears, the days did not go back to normal. They began to write things down in a journal for the first time in years. Pages of memories, dreams, signs, names, dates. They started to fast from distractions, to walk in quiet places, to breathe more slowly. Every small habit was a signal that their spirit was preparing for a crossing point. Heaven watches these preparations, because they are like candles being lit before dawn. Archangel Michael says, there is an unseen weaving happening while you wait. Threads from their world and threads from your world are being drawn together. People you do not know are being moved into place. Situations that look random are actually markers on a map that will guide you both to the right door at the right moment. Type Amen to get blessing 999. At night, they lie awake feeling the space where you should be. Sometimes they whisper a thank you into the darkness for lessons learned, sometimes they whisper an apology. The sound of their own breathing reminds them of the ocean and the way you once spoke about waves, and their eyes fill again, but this time with softer tears. You might have noticed strange dreams lately, standing at train platforms, hearing music without a source, feeling a tap on your shoulder in sleep. These are not accidents. They are signals your higher self is receiving as the two paths converge. Heaven uses images and sensations because words would break the surprise too soon. The family who heard that confession is also shifting. They are softer now, more protective, less skeptical. One of them even began speaking blessings over the connection without telling anyone. They have seen enough to know this is not ordinary, they have felt the sacred weight of it in their own homes since that night. Type Amen to get blessing 111. My beloved child, keep holding your center. You do not need to search for them. You do not need to force a message or a meeting. The same energy that carried their words into their family's living room is now carrying your name through invisible corridors of time. It will find its way to you without you running. They are making changes you cannot see. Ending ties, releasing distractions, clearing space, forgiving themselves. Every time they do, a knot in the spiritual cord between you loosens and the current becomes smoother. This is why you have begun to feel sudden waves of calm in the middle of the day, that is their work arriving at your heart as peace. Archangel Michael says, Heaven does not waste tears. Every cry becomes a compass. Every moment of surrender becomes a bridge. You are already walking toward each other even when your eyes are closed. Type Amen to get blessing 222. Soon there will be a sign. It will be small but unmistakable, a word on a billboard, a child repeating your name, a bird landing near your window at a precise time. It will make your chest feel warm and your eyes blur for a second. That will be the moment you know, the confession has turned into movement, and the movement is carrying you into the next chapter. Their family will play a quiet role too. Someone there will send a message, pass along a detail, or accidentally open a door that allows contact to happen again. It will feel like coincidence, but it will be the result of all those tears, all those prayers, and all the unseen orchestration now reaching completion. My beloved child, you have waded through shadows, now you are walking into light. The confession that once seemed like an ending was actually a seed. It is sprouting now, and its roots are under both your feet. Stand still, breathe, and let heaven finish the weaving. Archangel Michael says, you will recognize the moment by its peace. You will not have to guess. You will simply know. And when it happens, you will remember these words and smile, because the same current that carried them to you tonight will carry you both into a new dawn together. My beloved child. Stay right where you are and take a deep breath. What you are stepping into now is the gentle aftershock of a confession that shook not only a living room but the fabric of destiny itself. The night of tears became a seed, the days after became roots, and now the roots are pushing up through the soil. You are reading these words at the very moment the first green shoots are breaking into the light. After that night, they stopped speaking so much but started listening more. They began waking up before dawn, sitting in the half-dark, holding a cup and staring out at nothing. That nothing was actually a field of signals, feathers on the porch, numbers on the clock, your name showing up in unexpected messages. They didn't tell anyone, but they felt a hand on their back when they were alone, a sign that heaven had received their tears and was now guiding their steps. Archangel Michael says, every sign that reaches them also reaches you. You may think you're imagining things, the repeated numbers, the scent that drifts in, the sudden warmth across your chest, but these are not coincidences. They are the confirmation that the confession is still unfolding like ripples on water, carrying your names back toward each other. Type Amen to get blessing 333. The family's home also feels different now. There is a softness in the air, as if the walls themselves heard the truth and absorbed it. Conversations have changed, there is less gossip, more quiet. Someone in that household has even begun lighting a small candle at night and whispering a blessing without telling anyone why. Heaven has moved not only in one heart but in the circle around them, preparing a nest for what's to come. On your side, you may have noticed an unusual calm replacing the ache you used to carry. Where there was heaviness, there is now a sense of anticipation, like standing at the edge of a forest just before sunrise. This is your body's way of sensing the shift. Your cells, your breath, your heartbeat are responding to a timeline that has already turned in your favor. My beloved child, don't rush this. You don't need to push or search. This energy is self-carrying now, like a current in a river. All you need to do is stay open and keep your heart soft, because the confession has already begun to build a bridge that your mind can't yet see. Type Amen to get blessing 444. They are quietly preparing, clearing out old drawers, deleting old contacts, ending patterns that once held them back. Every time they do, a strand of the cord between you strengthens. Their dreams of you have shifted too, no longer heavy with regret but filled with scenes of future moments, walking side by side, sitting in calm, speaking truths without fear. These are previews being sent to your souls so that when the meeting comes, it will feel like remembering, not guessing. Archangel Michael says, heaven has already written the invitation. You don't need to send it. It's being delivered to both of your hearts at the same time, in the same subtle ways. The reunion is not a single event but a series of small recognitions, each one bringing you closer until suddenly you realize you are no longer apart. Type Amen to get blessing 555. And soon there will be a moment, maybe a message, maybe a look across a room, maybe a simple accident, where everything clicks. You will feel warmth instead of anxiety, you will feel stillness instead of tension. That will be your confirmation that the confession's energy has completed its circle and the two of you have stepped into the new chapter written for you long before you were born. My beloved child, this is the gentle truth behind their tears, it was not a goodbye. It was the first hello of your next season. It was heaven's way of cleaning the glass between you so that when you see each other again, you will see clearly. And every sign you've been given, every number, every feather, every sudden memory, is heaven telling you, it's already happening. Archangel Michael says, let peace be your sign. When you feel it, lean in. When you sense it, trust it. The confession that began in trembling is becoming a path of light beneath your feet.